Those who refuse to buy certain brands. What brand? S. Are they and why? I won't use waste management. Trash company. My uncle worked there for 20 years and was fixing a truck which malfunctioned. It killed him very slowly and painfully. My aunt didn't have a great job and they had a young son. WM tried to bury them in court and then forgot to send checks multiple times. Wicked zoot. As a kid my dad wouldn't buy or let us buy any Nabisco products because he did some electrical work for them in their processing plants and they never paid him. Panic at Nabisco. Lazed boy bought 2 expensive leather couches and purchased the extra protection. Within 2 weeks the bonded leather began wearing away on the footstool where it retracts into the couch. We called in for service and they told us the leather wearing off was normal wear and tear and not covered in the extra protection. We should have returned those things immediately, but unfortunately didn't. Avoid bonded leather like the plague. It will end up falling apart way before pretty much any other furniture material. Rooms to go furniture freaking sucks. Have a rooms to go couch, don't use it abnormally at all. Think collapses. Have a rooms to go bed. Hooking up on the bed freaking collapses. I had to actually buy and cut wood myself to fix these things. Never buy furniture from rooms to go. Comcast. Come because it's the only internet provider in your area. Stay because you can't get a hold of them to cancel. I'm trying to cancel at DSL. I called, went through their stupid phone tree and every time the auto size asks what I want to do, I say cancel service and it directs me to a busy phone signal. Every time. So I cancelled via my card. Took 2 minutes versus the 30 minutes on the phone wasted. Comcast's Finity. They accused my wife of lying, being a bee, swore at her. Then when she told them she wanted to cancel her service they put her on hold. She heard them discuss how much of a cancellation fee to charge her. When they came back we informed them that we recorded everything and we hung up. We took our cable box to their office to drop off, cancelled the service with no additional fees, and were done. A while later an executive contacted us to ask us if there was anything they could do to retain us as customers and we laughed. After the way we were treated I will go without internet before I have Comcast again. This wasn't the first time we'd had a problem with Comcast, just the last one. Applebee's. About 18 years ago I went there for dinner, left a big tip in cash on the table, and paid the bill with my credit card. Made the mistake of not crossing out the tip line on the slip. The waitress wrote herself in a nice big tip. When I discovered it I called the number on the receipt. It wasn't even for that location. Had to track that down. Talked to a manager who basically called me a liar because he saw the amount written in. Yay, but that wasn't done by me. Corporate finally gave me my money back almost a month later. I also received in the mail from them a copy of the slip with the other amount written in. Like literally that was all that was in the envelope. Not a letter saying we are sorry our employee is a thief. Nope. Hey Applebee's, frick off. Tip for the future. When you tip cash, write cash on the tip line. This prevents the wait staff from getting ripped off by customers or busboys with sticky fingers and thinking you stiffed them. Also you can't easily turn letters into numbers. Mad Cats. They make some of the crappiest controllers I've ever seen. Ah yes, the Player 2 brand. I had a teacher in high school who told us she would never buy a Ford vehicle because Henry Ford was anti-Semitic. She drove a Volkswagen. That's quite the humorous story. Amway. They sell everything from detergents to protein bars to energy drinks. The products are of varying quality, but tend to be more expensive than stuff of the same quality you can buy in stores. My major issue with them is that by buying them, you contribute to the awful MLM pyramid scheme that is Amway. It is a bona fide cult on par with Scientology, where business owners are brainwashed into believing that they can achieve an awesome life of freedom from desk jobs, with yachts, Ferraris, mansions, and private islands, and other supposed perks of diamond status, if they sell these products, as well as buying expensive CDs, books, and motivational speeches, which is how the higher up distributors really earn so much money. In reality, this business model has a more than 99% failure rate, and I have witnessed firsthand how it can ruin lives and relationships. Their opposition to net neutrality and support for data caps. I boycott AT&T because I've had to deal with their business support before. Their business support is freaking atrocious and I'd hate to imagine what their residential is like. Wells Fargo. I deposited a severance check for $1,500. A couple weeks after I deposited it I went on vacation. Come home to find they had charged me $800 in overdraft fees as they hadn't cleared the check yet. I had deposited numerous checks from the same company, there was nothing shady about it, and I received no notifications that I had overdrafted and refused to reimburse me. Sony. I bought a VAIO laptop back in 1998 and it came with a metal stamping defect in one of the hinges. When I sent it in for repair, under warranty, they demanded $800 to fix it. It wasn't like the thing just broke. You could clearly see where the stamping machine came down a second time on the hinge and made part of a second hinge joint offset from the first, with the part number markings overlapping and everything. They basically told me that I had been using it wrong and that operator error wasn't covered. I refused to pay, and so they threatened to delete the data on the drive. I had backed it up, so I told them they could go ahead and do that. I called them a few weeks later to see if, now that they had deleted the data, they were going to fix the laptop. I was then told that they hadn't deleted the data, but they were going to examine it for anything illegal. I told them they could go ahead. All it had was a basic Linux install and some school projects. I called again after a few weeks, and they again demanded $800 to fix it or a ridiculous fee, $200 or something, to ship it back to me broken. The contract required them to return it at their cost if they didn't do any repairs, so I just waited out the rest of the warranty. After almost a year, the broken machine showed up in the mail. It wasn't in the original box that I'd saved and used to ship it to them. It was in a weirdly shaped box stuffed with newspapers and garbage, with the screen bezel they'd partly disassembled rattling around in a grocery bag. I bought a gutted parts machine on eBay for about $100, fixed the stupid hinge myself, and then I sold it. I've been a ThinkPad X series user ever since. I once managed to kill my X40's keyboard while I was traveling. My fault. IBM took down my flight information and had their technician meet me in one of the airports where I had a layover. He fixed the machine right in the terminal on a little pop-up table and handed it back to me. No charge, no drama. All they wanted to know was if I was up and running again. Their warranty isn't exactly cheap, but it was still less than Sony's. I wanted to hug everyone in their service department. Sprint. Because of that one time they had an extendable ad that popped out when I moused over it. May they burn in heck. Palmolive. They burned down tropical forests to plant their palm trees and ruin acres of precious land to be able to use the palm oil in their products. Saw a documentary when I was little and refused to buy it ever since, no matter how nice it smells or cheap it is. I have read on soap making forums that some vegetarians would rather use beef tallow, fat, before they use palm oil. I regularly boycott certain brands based how awful or invasive their advertisements are. I once refused to go to McDonald's for almost a year because they constantly played this awful radio commercial where two people argue about the pronunciation of the word caramel. Give me back that Filet-O-Fish. Give me that fish. Scott brand toilet paper, because my butt is not a block of wood that needs violent sanding. Thank you for the mental image. Combo snacks. I've been boycotting them since 1992 because they cost me the 6th grade spelling bee. Hewlett-Packard printers. About 4 years ago I purchased a business grade all-in-one HP printer for my home. I don't print a whole lot, but my girlfriend prints occasionally, once or twice a month. Anyway, my girlfriend has no complaints, nor do I for the first year. Roughly 15 days after the 1-year mark, the touchscreen on the printer goes bright white, and as there are no physical buttons on the unit, it's rendered completely unusable. I call HP support and after 2 hours they tell me the best they can do is offer me a refurbished unit for $300, but only if I am willing to send them my printer. I'm tech savvy, so I immediately asked if I could simply buy a replacement touchscreen and was told no. Essentially they want to swap out the faulty touchscreen on my perfectly good printer and resell it to someone else for $300 while I get someone else's potentially issue-plagued printer in return? WTF. I get off the phone and search this model printer on Google. Turns out the faulty screen issue is common and they always offer this trade out as the solution. I will never buy another HP printer as long as I live. I tell everyone I know that asks my advice on printers the same. Basically everyone should just have a Brother laser printer for business. If you're printing anything in color for business purposes, it's usually going to be worthwhile to have it done at a print shop anyway. Safeway milk, because whenever we would reject a tanker, too hot, blood present, SCC high, they would accept it. You've just spoiled my ability to enjoy milk for at least the next day or two. Applebee's, I can microwave crap in my own microwave. Kashi, they were prosecuted and fined a few years ago for false advertising. Kashi was one of the main examples of misleading advertising in my nutrition class. They want you to believe they're healthy, but they have insane amounts of added sugars. Wouldn't be surprised to hear they did something sketchy. I'm done with Uber. Lyft has better service in my opinion, and you can give them a tip through the app. I always ask my driver if they drive both and if they have a preference. No one has said Uber. The Uber app seems to have been designed and programmed by orangutans. I don't buy from Nestle because, you know, the whole stealing water so that people can't drink thing kinda sucks. I refuse to bring patronage to Walmart, have done so for years. Personal incidents aside, I think they're just an awful company. They generally mistreat their employees by manipulating their hours to avoid paying benefits. Among other small things, they fail to provide a positive customer experience most of the time, and they choke out small business around the country. So, yeah, not doing that. I was mostly but not entirely avoiding them for years. Then I had to buy my Wii U there. The specific bundle I wanted was exclusive to Walmart, and had one heck of a time. I have never shopped there since. The last time I stepped into a Walmart, it was to cash a money order from selling a computer component to a friend, as Walmart was the origin of the money order, so I had no choice. Still super bummed that my favorite online retailer and one-stop shop for pretty vintage-inspired dresses, ModCloth, was recently acquired by Walmart. I'm going to miss shopping with them, but the Walton family isn't getting any of my money. The Sun, because they should never be forgiven for what they wrote on Hillsborough. British tabloids are very vicious and disreputable. The Sun and the Daily Mail are atrocious publications. Any company that has an ad on YouTube that is unskippable and longer than 15 seconds, because ain't nobody got time for that. HP, my family have had 4 of their laptops. Every single one has had overheating problems. Power supplies die early, and their customer service is shite. Oh, and the computers where I currently work are HP too, and are also absolute pieces of crap too. Ubisoft, I won't buy due to their DRM policies. Not to mention their lazy PC ports and microtransaction prodding. Papa fricking John's. Bought one pizza from them. New Year's Day 2015, as my local Domino's was shut. I must have missed a box or something, because they sent me spam through my letterbox for a year. If I wanted to buy pizza, the first place I go to look for recipes is not my freaking doormat. Not to mention they treat their employees like dirt. Not a brand but a restaurant. I refuse to eat at a Denny's. I never ever had a good experience there, and this boycott started when I was 11. The peak of this was around Christmas time when I was a kid. My mom took me and my 2 sisters into a Denny's to eat after shopping for presents for the family. Besides a party of 10, we were the only other people in the restaurant. We got blatantly ignored. It took 45 minutes for my sisters and I to get our hot chocolates, and while it looked like hot chocolate, it tasted like hot water. After another 30 minutes of not getting our food, we left. That would have been my last time in a Denny's, but I was 11 and didn't have a huge say in where the family ate. It took a few more times of horrible service for both parents to give up on it. I think Dennis gets a lot of their business from drunk people who don't give a crap, since they're the only place still open when the bars close. I'm kind of done with Gamestop. I've heard one too many stories about them that make me never want to do business with them. Instead, this fueled a lifelong goal to shop locally whenever I can. I now buy most of my games either from pawn shops or a local chain by the name of Bull Moose. Nestle, I am not supporting an exploitative corporation that is trying to remove access to water as a basic human right. Wet Seal because of how they treated their employees. They're out of business, all the stores are closing. I refuse to buy off-brand mac and cheese, it's either Kraft or Annie's. The store brands generally taste like garbage. Rabbit of approval or GTFO. Frick Hollister, overpriced clothes for Frick boys. Now I am good, the founder CEO is also a dong. Nestle, almost every move they make is a disaster for the environment and they don't seem to care who they hurt in the process of doing business. Kylie Cosmetics, I'll be damned if my money goes into any Kardashian-Jenner bank account. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.